How hype?
When our studio audience all dabs at the intro. It was so good.
Do you guys dab?
A couple people.
So, do you still dab or not? No? Not cool anymore? What's like, okay, actually, since Soph's in the room.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone knows this. Soph's like TikTok, famous.
No way.
Really? She always shows up on my For You pages, For You page.
How did they figure that out? Is it algorithm based, like by people you know, or
I think there's something like that. Like both her and Joey, like their TikToks always show up.
I could see that
and
about Joey.
They're dancing like together and stuff, and it's like super cool. I never had that relationship with my siblings, so rest in peace.
I just got this mental image of like you and Rob.
Yeah,
like doing a coordinated dance.
That would be shut down real quick. Like. I'd probably get canceled for being so dorky.
Oh,
you know what
Lord.
I mean?
Do you have rhythm?
Yeah, bro. Of course I have rhythm. Come on, what are you talking about? You don't have rhythm?
No, I think I do, but I don't.
Like, guitar playing?
No, I mean like dance rhythm. Like,
well,
that's what I mean. Like,
I don't know. Anyways, so what's like the hottest dance move right now? She said, what's like just go to like first thing that comes to mind? The what?
The dice roll.
Dice roll?
Okay, listen. At the last Champion Youth Live,
I don't know about that.
Listen, Avery was trying to teach me the dice roll, and I did it like once or twice, and then she's like, "Don't ever do that again." I was like, "What?" She's like, "That's just nah."
Oh my
so thanks, Avery, for believing in me.
I can just like picture that. I can just, did you do the lip bite as well?
Yeah, I tried. Apparently, it was just not good.
Okay,
to watch.
something I'm kind of sad about, like, because one of my favorite sounds and things about TikTok right now is the shoo, but I feel like that's gonna get old really quick. Like, if it's not already old, I feel like in a couple like weeks, like people are gonna hate that. Like it's gonna be annoying, because like it's already a habit for me. Whereas like I'm in real life situations and I'm like, sheesh, like pastor is like talking, I'm like, sheesh, and he's like, what are you doing?
The new amen.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyways, I had a question for you, B.
Oh man, your questions.
Yeah,
always give me anxiety.
This one's chill. Don't worry. Like, take a load off.
Okay.
Unstrap your seatbelt. You're good. Like we're free riding right now.
Okay.
Chipotle or Moe's? Okay, Jake, I didn't know your name was Brandon now.
Yeah, thanks, Jake.
So
we know what Jake likes.
You were on the podcast last week. If you really want to do it again, come up here and preach to us. Yeah, you got a message?
First of all.
All right, let's sit down.
First of all, since he wants to interrupt us, we know that Jake likes Chipotle.
He loves Chipotle.
He interrupts our podcast.
I think
with Chipotle.
His favorite thing about Chipotle is the sound that the bag makes.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
he seems to make that sound a lot.
Yes.
So I think he just loves
He also walks into work with Chipotle every day. So
okay, the thing that's funny about Jake is he will eat lunch and then he'll carry it with him when he's done.
Yeah, like a little lunch bag to every table he goes to all day.
Yes. Dude, it will be 3:30 p.m. Homie took lunch at 12:30 or something. It'll be 3:30 and he still has his bag of Chipotle chips and he's just so walking funny. Throughout the office, So
one day I was like, "Oh, you got McDonald's for lunch?" He's like, "No, it's my breakfast." And it was still he was still eating it.
Wow.
Okay,
so
to your question, Chipotle or Moe's? Okay. I think Chipotle for me.
Okay.
I like Moe's chips and queso better though. Like they have killer chips and queso, but for just food, Chipotle bowl, it's too classic.
Yeah, I feel that.
And I can feed, no joke, I cannot feed my family for less than $50 or $60 anywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where, fast food, anything.
You chose that life?
But for Chipotle, yeah, it's my fault, my problem. But Chipotle, really interesting fact, I can get a bowl and just if you go in, if you order it on Grubhub, they skim you. They give you the smallest bowl. But if you go in, you're a little more rice, a little more beans, extra chicken. I can get tortillas on the side and feed all the boys a burrito with that. It's like a life hack. Life hack.
Wow. Okay, I feel that. But one thing I am going to say is that Chipotle doesn't have a Mo Monday.
What's Mo Monday?
Everyone's like, what?
Did you have Mo Monday today?
Yeah, bro. It's
what
Monday.
Is it?
Okay, so you get a burrito. Okay, Ashley, listen up. Like, literally stop talking when I'm talking, okay? I'm just joking. You get a burrito, you get a bag of chips, any salsa you want, and a drink for $6.95.
That's pretty good.
On Monday, all day Monday.
Good. All day, even dinner?
Yeah. So,
wow.
but think about getting a burrito from Chipotle, a bag of chips, a salsa, and a drink.
$14.99.
Yeah. You know,
easy.
That's double the price. Double the price easily.
One time I walked out the door just for myself because I added so much extra steak. Like I didn't realize they charged you every time you said extra steak. A little more, little more. It was like $21. I was like, holy cow.
What are you, like Borat or something? Yeah. How do you not know this? Okay, anyways. Yeah, but I think Moe's queso is the best. So if you guys have not tried it, you need to try it. So
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What did you do this weekend?
What did I do this
weekend?
weekend?
You were so MIA. What did you do?
What are you talking about?
I'm just joking. What did you do?
Well, I mean,
what was the highlight?
I streamed, you know,
Yeah?
I was like on Twitch, whatever, like at So Good Mate. No jokes. Yeah, it was a big weekend for Warzone. There was this new pistol that came out, you know, so I was just grinding that.
Nice.
And it sounds so cheesy for anyone that like is listening. That's like they don't understand Warzone. They're gonna be like, "What is he talking about?" Hopefully, like you don't think I'm like a violent person. But no, I was just streaming. And what I did this weekend, I tried something new. I woke up at 4 a.m. on Saturday and streamed from 4 a.m. to like 11:30 a.m.
Early.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was like early morning. It was dope because a lot of my Aussie friends were able to like tune in
cool.
and stuff,
Yeah.
and you know, I was just hanging out. So that's kind of what I did this weekend. But
did you go to bed early on Friday?
I went to bed at like 12, and then woke up at 4.
Dedication.
You know, so.
Let me tell you, JD's dedicated. Whatever he does, you just dedicate.
100%. I'm 100% or nothing. That's the kind of person I am. 100% or nothing. So yeah. But I mean, why did you ask? Like, what did you do this weekend?
Oh, you don't want to know. You never want to ask me that question. No.
Oh God.
This weekend so the boys are like starting baseball, so that's getting busy. But then Saturday and Sunday, I was in like
that's the weekend. So yeah.
Yeah, work for Nelly mode. I worked for Nelly.
Work for Nelly.
I like it's my weekend, but when I go home, I work for the other boss. So I was doing all kinds of like yard work and every stuff. But actually, funny, you know what I did this weekend? I decided. So Romeo, the dog, he jumped over our fence because it's only like 3 feet tall.
The girls are like, Romeo.
In the backyard. So he jumps over the fence. And luckily, like right away, we're like yelling at him. So he's like, "Oh no, what did I do?" So he came right back. He didn't go anywhere. But so because of that, I'm like, okay, I got to do something about this because he's getting bigger. Like he can already stand way taller than the fence. So I decided to install. Okay, first of all, no one get mad at me for what I'm about to say. I decided to install an electric fence. It's kind of inhumane, right?
How dare you?
So I decided to
what is
install
wrong with that?
An electric fence.
Okay.
Because of the jumping over the thing. But he also, last year, he trampled over all the flowers and everything and like just thought they were like, he's like.
Bad dog.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to help him. So I thought this would be super easy, by the way. I don't know why. I always do this to myself, right? I've told you so many stories about like, I want to start this project. I think I can do anything in the world. So I get in this project. Literally, Saturday morning, I wake up and I'm like, okay, like 2 or 3 hours. I'm going to do this project. All day, I get like 10% of the way. And I'm like, what the heck? Because I got to like.
What kind of fence did you get?
Well, it's a wire I have to dig all the way around my property. It's an electric fence.
Is this
so
normal?
I really thought it would be easy, but it was much harder than I thought it would be. And so then I spent all day Sunday doing it. I'm now like 50% of the way there. So this is apparently going to be next weekend as well. So if you're listening next weekend, I'm still doing it right now. I'm working on it. But, okay, so here's what it made me think of, GD.
Oh, just imagine like the 1% of person that's like, oh, he's talking to me.
Oh, he's talking to me right now. Preach!
Oh, my God.
This must be from God for me today, Saturday morning. No, so... Listen, I spent all weekend working on this thing, and it was so much work, so much effort, and so much intention. I had to, like, draw out where I was going to put it and, like, how I was going to do it. And I, like, threw away the paper 3 or 4 times, like, planning it, like, how am I going to do this? And so, but then it was just so much work. I'm tired. I literally am sitting here right now. My back hurts so much because I was, like, bending over, digging, you know.
You want a massage?
Yeah, later, off camera. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so... here's what I thought about while I was doing that. Why
yeah.
does God always like speak to me like, see, Brandon, like, okay, here's what I thought about. So I was digging this boundary all the way around my property to protect my dog. Right? And the outcome of the boundary is going to be the dog can't run away and be a prodigal son, right? I mean, if he returns, I'm going to kiss him and give him a robe and a fatted calf. But he doesn't have that opportunity anymore. Okay. It's going to protect him from me yelling at him if he tramples the flowers or his mom getting mad at him, right? But more importantly, if he runs out, we live kind of on a busy street. If he runs on the street, it's going to protect him from getting hurt or dying. Like, so there's a great outcome to setting a boundary.
Nice.
But it made me realize there is nothing fun about boundaries.
Interesting.
There's nothing fun about it. Like, it's hard work. It takes intention. It takes, like, man, why do I got to do this? There's a lot of question marks that come up. Like, literally all day yesterday, I was like, why the heck am I doing this? This is so stupid.
Dang.
I almost started ripping it up and just like, I'm done. Just no more. Return the thing. But it made me think about like our boundaries in our life. There's nothing fun about setting boundaries, right? And there's so many areas in our life that need boundaries. Our thought life, our friendships, right?
Wow.
Like, I don't know. What do you think about that?
I mean, no, like that's so deep. I was not expecting that. But that's so real. Like, I'm sure when you finish this, if you can finish this, I'm sure that the payoff is gonna be massive.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be like obviously it's not like I'm sure, like I have to like guess. It's obvious that it's going to pay off and it's gonna be worth the work that you're doing now. Yeah. So that, like you described, Romeo doesn't get hit by a car, you know, and like doesn't, run away and get lost and whatever. And so I think that's super interesting. It's a great metaphor because building boundaries for yourself is like we love to give advice to other people, but like we're not always so quick to give that same advice to ourselves. Yeah. Because it's harder. Yeah. It's harder to cultivate the boundary for yourself than it is to tell someone else, hey, you should probably think about this, or you should do this, or you should try this, or maybe you should take time to do this. Like, for whatever example you can think of. We love giving advice, but then I'm more so talking to myself, you know, like I love giving advice, but sometimes it's harder for me to actually like dig deep for myself and like, okay, I need to create this boundary, before I tell someone else. Yeah. So I think that's really interesting, and it's never easy work, it's never like something that is super clear and I'm so like excited that I'm like gonna create this boundary for me, or that I'm gonna start thinking about life this way, or I'm gonna start thinking about my relationship this way. That's never like fun, because we just love to live life as it is and like go with the flow and not really think about it. So I don't know, it's kind of hitting me. I have thoughts developing, but what do you like? No,
you're hitting it. Take? You're hitting it right there. That's what I was feeling while I was out there, just like sweating and like tired and my back hurt. Like, there's nothing fun about it. But if you put this over into like your spiritual life or just your natural life, like just take this example, like screen time, right? Just like a very basic example that I think every one of us could go, hey, like I could probably have better boundaries. You get those notifications. They're like, your screen time went down. And then you're like, oh, sweet. And you look at it and it's like, instead of 14 hours today, it was 13. And you're like, holy cow, I spent my whole day on my phone. Or, so what boundaries do we set from the smallest of things like screen time? How much time are we like spending on social media and making that such a like checking likes, checking followers? Like we care so much about that stuff. If we set a small boundary, intentionality, it's not fun. Like, it'd be more fun to just sit on the couch and scroll through Facebook all day for sure. It's like, you can just like relax doing that. But you set a boundary, and what could you be doing with that time that would be benefiting you? Yeah. Or benefiting your life, or building character in you, reading a book. Like, I don't know. Like, anyone do that anymore?
Tough. That's tough. I am going to say I just looked up my screen time, and, full vulnerability right now, full disclosure. It's at 13 hours from last week. 13 hours.
Is that on average or for the whole week?
That's
is that like every day, 13 hours on average?
No, I think that's average of last week, Wow. So do you know what yours is?
Oh, let me look it up. Why don't you talk for a second while I try and find it?
Yeah. No, but that's such
Where do you find that? Everyone should find this.
Like, I don't know, like right there.
Screen time.
Yeah. and then click that.
Daily average,
see
2
activity,
hours.
and then
Weekly,
Dude, what?
weekly average.
This guy's weekly average from
4
last week is 4
hours.
hours. Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
but to be fair though, I answer all my text messages from my computer.
Okay.
You know, so
do they have
like
screen time on computer?
yeah. I'll check it
interesting.
on my computer at some point and see what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like screen time's a great example of like what are our boundaries?
Right.
Like, you know, like I set boundaries for my kids with that. They're younger, obviously. I don't think any teenagers like real worried about it, but maybe we should be like, because there's so much time we could gain in our lives to be doing other things. Like maybe that small boundary, that small intentional effort to create time and space for you can help you, and then take it to something more drastic, you know, like from screen time, that's like a basic example. But what about boundaries of your friendships or your relationships? Like obviously like relationship with the opposite sex, like boundaries matter.
Yep.
Because if you don't have those guardrails or boundaries, you're Romeo in the street, man. You're getting hit by that car or you're the prodigal puppy. Like,
no, I was
down.
gonna speak to that because it's interesting. You said the exact words that like if you don't have that boundary for Romeo, he could jump over the fence and get lost.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key word of like getting lost.
Yeah.
Because I mean it's a new territory for him. He's never really roamed the streets before. So and I'm just really going there with this metaphor. So I apologize. But he's not like a street. You know, he's not like from the streets.
Yeah.
So like he doesn't know.
No, he's an upclass puppy. He's spoiled. He's got a bed.
So like he could get lost because it's such a new territory for him that even though he's a dog and he's smart and he knows like what he needs. He knows he needs food, water, he needs love, he needs to be around people. Even though he knows that in a new environment, that stuff goes away because you're lost.
Yeah.
And so literally like for me, a boundary that I set when I was, you know, in high school and stuff was that, and this is gonna, like anyone that's listening to this is gonna be like, oh my God, you're so extreme. But I don't care because this really helped me. This saved me a lot in life. My boundary was I'm not gonna do drugs and I'm not gonna drink alcohol. Like drugs never, and then alcohol at least until I was, you know, like a little bit older than 21, because I know that everyone was like, oh, 21, like let's go get shots, which I don't judge anyone for doing that, and I know it's kind of like an interesting topic, and you know, teenagers, you're gonna have to face this when you're going into your 20s, and you know, you got peer pressure all around you and all that stuff. That's what I faced, and my thing was like, I just need to set a clear boundary. The only reason why is because I didn't want to let myself get in a place or a position where I would be tempted to cross that border and then get lost. You know what I mean? So I know it's a little extreme. And I know a lot of people have a lot of different views on alcohol and drugs and all that stuff or whatever. So like, I'm not trying to point the finger at anyone, and I'm not trying to make it seem like it's something we should be doing necessarily. But I'm just saying that there's boundaries like that you need to set in a relationship. Like, how far is too far, you know, with your boyfriend or with your girlfriend, like how far is too far? That is something that is worth taking the time to think about and even writing down, and then like not studying it, but like making it clear for yourself so that you know, okay, what triggers me to want to push this boundary? What triggers me to want to do more than just hand holding? What triggers, like, you know, how funny is that? But like, you know, you have to ask those questions. What's my trigger? So that you know what to stay away from. And so that when that trigger is coming up, you see it coming from a mile away and you can stop it. And you can be like, hey, you know what? Like, we're getting a little too comfortable watching Up together. And so let's, you know, whatever. And I'm not even trying to be goofy like that. Like, you know, it's a real thing. Cuddling is a real thing. And it can lead to very many things. And that's just real talk. And so if you don't have those boundaries in place, you're going to get put in that position where you've crossed the line and you don't know where to do, what to do there. And then you know what you do in those situations? You create a new line that then gets crossed again, and then you're like, okay, well, now that we're this far, let me just, you know, let's just not do this, and then you cross that,
and you just keep pushing the boundary.
You're in a habit of pushing the boundary, you know. So that's why I like this metaphor, because you're actually, and I didn't even know about this, but you're digging that fence into the ground.
That's cool.
So that there's nothing that can uproot that. And come along, and like there's no animal, there's no other like force, no weather, no storm that's gonna come that's gonna uproot whatever you're digging all around the circumference of your house. So it's like that's embedded, that's stuck in there, and that's what we need to do with our boundaries and our emotional health, our relational health, our spiritual health. We got to dig those boundaries deep so that we hold tight to them and hold firm to them. So.
Dude, what I love about that, digging the boundary deeper, it's such a good way to wrap this analogy up. I've been asked several times by different teens throughout the years, like, hey, well, how do I set boundaries? How do I do that? And the greatest answer that I could come up with or give was one I was taught. Psalms 119, verse 109. How can a young man keep his way pure? Or how can a young woman keep their way pure? How can we as young people keep our way pure? How do we set a boundary that keeps us pure? And that's more than just relationships. Pure of heart, pure of mind, pure in our actions, right? Pure in general. How can we keep our way pure? The answer is in that verse. Only by heeding to the word of God. And so how do you answer that question? Well, where do I start with my boundaries? Listen, it's in the word somewhere. Like, find it. Like, what's your boundaries with emotions? Look it up. Look up. Maybe you are triggered with anger and emotions. Well, just look in the word. What's the Bible say about anger? What's the Bible say about awakening lust too early? It's in there. Woo. Like, the word has the answer. So you can dig your roots right there in the word and find your boundaries. How far is too far? How should I approach friendships? What should I do? Well, you've heard me say it several times. I'll say it again. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. That's just me reinterpreting the way the Bible says friendships, iron sharpens iron, so the countenance of a man sharpens his friend. Who you're around, who you associate with is going to determine who you become. So when I was younger, I heard that phrase, I saw that scripture, and I realized, like, it scared me. I looked at some of my friends like, whoa, I don't want to end up like them. I don't want to end up like their family or like their brothers. Like, I need new friendships because I don't want that to be my future. So I drew some boundaries around my life of what I would call a friend. I wanted to call a friend based on the boundary of that they would tell me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear, etc.
Yeah, and I think it also, I think that's so big. Like, we got to surround ourselves with people that are going to tell us what we need to hear, not just like, oh, you're amazing, or on Instagram, like, it's so easy to just be like, that's all you, girl, or that's all you, boo. Like, it's just natural talk.
No dislike
versus button. Like intentional, like, hey, I'm going to take this moment to pour into you right now and be the friend that you need. But also another thing that you say, and I'm just going to go over on time just a little bit, but the thing that you say is like, wrong place, wrong time, or sorry, right thing
at the wrong time.
At the wrong time is the wrong thing. Yeah. And so that's another thing. Like, we're meant to enjoy certain aspects of a relationship. We're meant to enjoy certain aspects of, food or drink or whatever in life. But if we look at life like long term, then that's going to be really easy to gauge. Like, do I need this right now?
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's be honest. Like, do you need to have sex right now? That's a huge question. Like, do you need to do that right now?
Yeah.
I feel like it just got super silent in the room. And that's okay.
For sure.
Because it's a real topic. Do you need to, like, drink alcohol right now?
Yeah.
Like, is you impressing your friend at a party gonna make a difference in your life, like, long term? Are your kids gonna grow up and be like, oh my gosh, like, you're so cool for impressing your friend when you took that drink last night, and then you don't even remember what happened or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, and I know it's extreme. I know these are extreme questions, and I know this is like a family-friendly podcast, but I'm just putting it out there for perspective and things that have helped me along the way, because, like, you got to think about this. Like, there's so much time to enjoy the things of life in the right time, in the right way, in a way that's, healthy. Like, it's not even about, oh, God's watching you, so watch out. This is like for our own health.
It's for our own good.
Our mental health, our emotional health, our dependency on others. Like, we should not be building a dependency on the opposite sex at a young age.
Yeah.
We should be able to build dependency on ourselves and on God and our family and good friends, so that when we're in a relationship and we can actually, like, invest in a relationship, we can offer, hey, I can be a source of strength for you. I can be a source of provision for you, not, oh, I need this from you because otherwise I don't know what to do with myself, and I don't know how to, you just sit still, like, I have to be doing something, I have to be physical with you, whatever. So I know I'm getting into a little bit of a rant, but
it's so good.
I think when we look at things on a grand perspective, timeline of, like, there's so much time to enjoy this stuff, there's no need to rush anything, then we realize, okay, you know what, we start filtering things through, is this healthy for me?
Yeah.
And not is this what God approves, or is this biblical, or is this religious? I think those are good questions, to ask somewhere in there. But it's really the priority is this healthy for me?
Yeah.
So I think that is going to be a huge tool or tip for you guys when you're trying to create boundaries for yourself. Just think about, okay, me being 15, me being 18, me being 17 right now, is this decision going to be healthy for me in the long run? Okay, maybe not, so I can wait on it. You know, I can be patient a little bit. And you know what? If I'm struggling with this, I need to get some help to help me, you know, gauge this, not fall into temptation, not just like give my life over to this, but let me get some support where people can remind me that I've got so much more to live for in the now, that I don't need to force this one thing right now, this one experience right now, and I can enjoy it later.
Yeah. So good. Hey, listen, anyone listening right now or watching right now, if you need help or questions that you have about boundaries or what boundaries to set, we're here. Your leaders, your Champion Youth family, like reach out to us on Instagram, reach out to us. In any leader that you know, reach out, and we're here to help and share that. And the last thing I'd say to echo and wrap us up, when you said boundaries can sometimes seem extreme, like boundaries are extreme. Like
the point.
To wrap up the story about the pup, man, like I'm thinking the most extreme thing that would happen, which is a small percentage, a dog getting hit by a car. I'm thinking of the extreme. I don't want to lose this dog. And you got to think of the extreme. What would you regret if you crossed the line?
Yeah.
Right? What would you live with that's like, man, I regret that decision or I regret that mistake? And set a boundary to not have to go there.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's space for grace for any boundaries you cross.
Of course.
You know, God loves you. If you've already crossed any boundaries in your life, you're forgiven. You're washed white as snow.
Yeah.
But hey, this was a fun chat.
Yeah. And
really
it's
cool.
It's all in love. It's all for the best, you know. And
for
so
sure.
I think we enjoyed talking about this stuff because it's helpful.
Yeah.
And we're not going to waste time talking about the surfacey things.
Yeah. We got to go
this
deep.
is stuff that we actually struggle with as human beings and as teenagers. So this is super important. But most importantly, we love you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And we want the best for you. So that's why we do this. That's why we're here. That's why we're here every week. It's really just to express that we love you guys. We want the best for you. And we hope you feel that. And that's it for us. But without further ado, we are going to be here next Monday. But we'll see you at church every Sunday.